How's it gaming, guys? I'm Phil in the Blanks, and just recently, Nintendo announced Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, a full-on sequel to Hyrule Warriors, as well as a prequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's going to take place 100 years before Breath of the Wild takes place, during the large war that we kept getting told about during the actual game of Breath of the Wild, but we didn't really get to see very much of. It's really most people's biggest complaint about Breath of the Wild is that you get all these characters that you don't really get to interact with. You just get these kind of, flashbacks, which aren't really, satisfactory in this kind of story. So having a Hyrule Warriors, a Dynasty Warriors style Musou game set in this great war is quite honestly one of the smartest things I've ever seen Nintendo do. It's a great idea. It really suits it really well, and I mean, Hyrule Warriors was an amazingly fun game with just a shit ton of content. It was great. It was my very first Warriors game, to be honest, and I just really enjoyed how much love there was in that game. I've played a bunch of other Musou games from that point. I played a bunch of the Dynasty Warrior games, Samurai Warrior games. I've even played one of the One Piece Pirate Warrior games, and I don't even know anything about One Piece, man. Like I like Warrior games because they're fun. They're very brain dead in a way. They're mash buttons, see cool attacks, but you can tell that they really like the franchises that they work with. And I find Koei Tecmo works really, really hard and really well when they work with licensed franchises from other companies. They do a really great job. So this isn't a video going, let's speculate about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Everyone else is doing that. That's fine. My question is, what other Nintendo franchises would make really good Warrior games? And I mean, Nintendo owns so many franchises that they're not even able to make enough games for all of them. I mean, we're still waiting for Star Tropics 3, clearly the best thing they need to do. So I actually have the Wikipedia article, well, category really, of all Nintendo franchises. There's so many, and I'm gonna see which ones would be really cool Dynasty Warrior style games, and let's kind of think about what would make sense. And obviously a lot of these don't make sense as Dynasty Warrior games. I mean, like Dr. Mario, like oh my god, that'd be amazing actually. Like there's clearly a lot of styles of franchises that Nintendo has that won't make sense. But I have the Wikipedia thing open just to kind of look and see what would be kind of cool. Like anything that'd be like a major big franchise that would really bring in the dollars. I love how A starts with Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing Warriors would be the best thing in the world. No, like obviously games like that wouldn't make any sense. But let's go down this list and let's see actually what would be a really, really cool one. Okay, and before we start, I'm going to be using the words Warriors and Musou kind of interchangeably. What that's referring to when I say Warriors is the Dynasty Warrior games, which consist of Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, a bunch of other warriors, where basically you are a one-man army. You choose between a bunch of different characters and you take down thousands of enemies in single hits and stuff. It's all spectacular. It's all like a spectacle. It's all super fun. Musou is just kind of the Japanese name for the genre. So if I say Musou, I mean Dynasty Warriors style game and vice versa. Alright, first up, alphabetically anyways, is Donkey Kong. While that'd be kind of cool, I don't think it really makes a lot of sense. I mean, I guess you could. Donkey Kong Warriors, that's kind of a cool idea. One of the things that makes a Warriors game really, really fun is obviously the ability to have a lot of playable characters. And that was actually going to be, I thought, a problem with Hyrule Warriors that first started. It's like, oh, okay, Zelda, Link, and like you can put Impa in there, I guess. But they did a really great job. There's like 20-something characters in it. And I think you need at least like 15 in order to get something really good. And I'm not sure if, like, maybe Donkey Kong would have enough characters. Like, you have Donkey, you have Diddy, Dixie, Kitty. I guess you could have Cranky, why not? Funky, Candy, Wrinkly would be kind of fun. And obviously you get the villains too. I mean, it'd be really cool to have King K. Rool and even like some of his generals like Clubba or Clump or something like that. I guess there'd be enough characters that'd be kind of a fun idea. But I think it would be very silly. A lot of Kremlings kind of running around. You don't have really unique areas, I guess. I mean, you have like the jungle levels and the ice levels of Donkey Kong Country Island. You have the pirate levels from Diddy's Conquest. But I don't know. This one's like, let's say what's realistic. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. No, it's a little too silly. F-Zero, I'm going to go quickly and say no, that doesn't make sense. F-Zero is clearly a racing game and, wouldn't make any sense. Like, yeah, you got Captain Falcon stuff, but He's the only one who's like known to fight, because I guess he was a bounty hunter in the actual lore of F-Zero, but it's a racing game. It's not going to happen. That wouldn't make any sense. There's also Fire Emblem Warriors. That actually did happen, so, you know, there you go, it happened. I was not a big fan of Fire Emblem Warriors. I don't know. I found it sort of boring. And I think the reason why is because you have all these characters and they kind of act sort of similarly, because that's the way Fire Emblem works. You have a lot of people with swords and whatnot. You have some main characters with special abilities, but nothing crazy. Plus, to be honest, the fact that it really just focused on the newer Fire Emblem games, like, they couldn't even go back to, like anything older than Awakening. Like, that was ridiculous. That really hampered that for me. Golden Sun. That'd be an interesting one. There's only 3 Golden Sun games out there, and I've only played the first 2, the ones for the Game Boy Advance. And while this is a series that truly, really deserves to come back, it's not going to happen in a Warriors game, obviously, but I think it would be kind of a cool idea. I mean, the powers in Golden Sun are just really, really cool. I really like the idea of characters like all the adepts and whatnot using like the synergy, the kind of psychic abilities or whatever, because they all used very different things, and like the crazy big attacks would be all those crazy god summons. Like, that would actually be pretty cool. I don't know who the villains would be. Like, there's not a lot of like little character, kind of like how Bokoblins became the Zelda staple of little henchmen, and then you got like in Mario Goombas would be henchmen, that kind of stuff, Koopa Troopas. I don't know what it'd be in Golden Sun. I guess it just could be regular enemies, or just soldiers, really. It'd be a really cool one. I don't think Nintendo's going to make a new Golden Sun anytime soon. They barely have Golden Sun represented in Super Smash Bros., which is such a shame, because Golden Sun would be a really cool idea. Kid Icarus. Now that's a pretty cool one. Kid Icarus got screwed over with Kid Icarus Uprising. No one played it, which is such a shame, because if it wasn't for the god-awful controls, I think that game would have done really well. It's incredibly well done. It's gorgeous for the 3DS. Its localization is remarkable. Just really lovely, charming characters, and just a great job. Sakurai did an amazing job with it. And let's say Kid Icarus Uprising had actually spawned a sequel or came back for the Switch. I'm still waiting for a remake for the Switch. That'd be amazing. I could actually see Kid Icarus Warriors, or just Icarus Warriors maybe. I don't know what they'd call it. Because I don't know if they call it like Skyland Warriors. Actually, that doesn't sound that bad. It would be a really cool idea. I mean, you have 2 very specific factions in Heaven and Hell, with Palutena and then Hades, of course, and Medusa as well, and a lot of playable characters with that. There are a lot of unique characters that were introduced just into Uprising, because the original game was 3 characters. It was Pit, it was Palutena, it was Medusa. But like in the new game, there's so many new characters that I think they do a really good job with that. I mean, to be honest, with the 3DS game, it almost already sort of feels like Dynasty Warriors-esque. Not really, it's an action game, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that far of a departure to make it into a Warriors game. So while I love the idea of it, I think Kid Icarus needs to come back first before something like this could happen. Though I actually think if Kid Icarus had kept going, this actually would have been fairly high on the list. So that would have been a really cool idea. Kirby, Dreamland Warriors. That, to be honest, is actually probably the reason I'm making this video. I've said since Hyrule Warriors became a thing that if any other franchise should be a Warriors game, it should be Kirby. The idea of a super, super cute Musou game with Kirby as a main character, and then like a couple extra powers, because, you know, it's Kirby and he has a bunch of extra powers, so you'll be able to pick a couple of them. With all the helpers being like playable characters, Burn and Leo, Waddle Doo, obviously you get the obvious one, King Dedede, Meta Knight, all that, but like just the helpers from Superstar, like each of them, every single power has a unique enemy that uses that power, and that could be a playable character. And because they're just basic enemies in the Kirby games, they could also just be like generals in the actual like armies and whatnot. Like an outpost commander could be a Waddle Doo using beam abilities, while Waddle Dees and like Bronto Berts and the Mushroom Caps, they could be your regular enemies. Most of the Dynasty Warrior games, the stories take themselves fairly seriously, but the games are like crazy abilities, crazy fiery, flashy. It's a graphic showcase. Like, people just like seeing because it's flashy and fun, and it's Michael Bay, the friggin' video game, half the time, because it's just explosions and lighting effects and awesomeness. And Kirby already, like, does badass things anyways, so Kirby being cute, this world being cute, you can even, like, cell shade it kind of coolly, like, make it look very interesting, because Kirby has a very unique graphical style that sometimes changes between entries. I think something like that would just be really fun and different, and Kirby itself, the franchise, lends itself so much to large-scale battles anyways, because of just the amount of enemies and the amount of powers and the amount of characters that could be in this. To me, this is probably the smartest game, the smartest franchise that Nintendo could take and make into a Warriors game. 10 out of 10. I think this is the smartest thing to do. I would adore it. Plus, to be honest, we need something new for Kirby anyways. Kirby has been really stagnant lately. He used to be this franchise where there would be a regular game like Kirby's Dream Land or Kirby's Adventure, and then there'd be a spin-off like Kirby's Pinball Land or Kirby's Star Stacker or Kirby's Rainbow Curse. And that, like, Rainbow Curse was like kind of the last major spin-off title. There was like, what was it, Kirby Battle Royale or whatever it was called. And that was awful. That was garbage. But the main Kirby games are feeling really stagnant. After Return to Dreamland came and kind of brought back Kirby to like a classic style, they just did Triple Deluxe, which was very good, Planet Robobot, which I think is great, it's really good, and then they kept going, and it's the same thing over and over again, and the last one, what was it called? Star Allies was okay, at best? I don't know. They do something with it. I think this could rejuvenate Kirby, bring him up, do something new with him. I mean, to be honest, the next real main Kirby game should be fully 3D anyways, because no Kirby game has been like truly 3D, and that needs to happen. So why not introduce that with the friggin' Warriors game? Man, Dreamland Warriors, make it happen. Hashtag Dreamland Warriors, hashtag Kirby for Dynasty Warriors. I don't know. Just, I think this is the smartest idea Nintendo could do out of all these. I would love it. M for Mario, and as much as I would absolutely adore a Mushroom Kingdom Warriors, I don't think this is gonna happen. It's as unlikely as the Donkey Kong one. It might even be more unlikely. I don't think Nintendo wants to take Mario into like the while cartoony, still hyper-violent world of the Musou games. I can't imagine Mario running around a battlefield just beating the shit out of Koopa Troopas. I mean, I can't imagine it. It's friggin' awesome. But I don't think Nintendo would ever allow it. It's one of those things that, like, weirdly enough, I could see them letting Kirby do it, because Kirby's already, like, a godlike character already. But for some reason, I just don't see it with Mario. Which is a shame, because, again, Mario has all the enemies. Koopa Troopers, Goombas, all these enemies could be foot soldiers, and then you have all these crazy characters that could be on your side with Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Princess Toadstool, Pauline, even Donkey Kong could make an appearance there, Wario, Waluigi, Toad, even like offbeat characters like Toadsworth could be a character, Birdo, bad guys like Bowser, that could be a good way to bring back friggin' Wart from Mario 2. There are a million, trillion, billion characters from the Mario series that would be a really cool addition to something like Mushroom Kingdom Warriors. I honestly think the only reason this won't be made is because I don't think Nintendo will allow it. I think, other than that, if you took that away, it'd be like Kirby, where it's like, it makes so much sense, but because of Nintendo's stance on that type of stuff, they want Mario to be super happy. The fact that they allow him to be upset and angry in the Smash games, I think is crazy. I think they trust Sakurai that much. So unless, like, Sakurai headed off Mushroom Kingdom Warriors, I don't think it's going to happen, because Miyamoto wouldn't let it happen, just the end. Unfortunate. As awesome as it would be, I don't think this one can happen. Metroid. That'd be a really cool one. Metroid doesn't have a lot of characters. There's obviously Samus, that's the main one, and most of the other characters are from Metroid Prime 3 and Metroid Prime Hunters, which no one remembers except for me, apparently, because I'm the only one who wants to see Prime Hunter characters in Smash Brothers. Everyone just wanted Ridley and no one else. But there's not a whole lot of characters, so you'd really have to dig deep on this one, and there'd probably be unique and, like, original characters just for that. It'd be a cool idea, because a lot of it'd be, like, weapon-based, and that's, well, I mean, Dynasty Warriors games are always weapons-based, that was a stupid thing to say, but, like, guns and stuff, like cannons, arm cannons, like projectile weapons, which just would be a really cool idea. like the Donkey Kong thing. It's like a 5 out of 10. I'd like to see it happen, but I don't think it would be. But I could also kind of see Nintendo allowing the Metroid franchise, the Metroid IP, go in this direction. It also is so against the Metroid idea, even more so than Legend of Zelda. When Hyrule Warriors was announced, a lot of people were just like, that's not what Zelda's about, though. That doesn't make any sense. Why would Link blah blah blah? You know, why it's all about, not about fighting, it's all about puzzle solving, and they're right. But I mean, then they made something amazing. And you could say the same thing about Metroid, because Metroid is about solitude. It's about this environment, this atmosphere, and that kind of thing. It's got combat, but it's not its main focus. Well, then make a combat-focused Metroid game. This would be a cool idea. If you want to flesh the world out in the Metroid series, which Nintendo really seems to want to do, they put so much effort into this Federation that has never really entered the Metroid games very often. They want to put a lot of work into this. Well, this is a good way to do it. Make a spin-off title that's like maybe canon. Who cares if it's canon or not? And just go to town. Here, go do your big expansive story and lore and whatnot. Just let Samus go from planet to planet and have a good time and pew, zap, zap, zap. I'd love to see that. Pokemon. I think if you asked anyone what Nintendo franchise you'd like to see as a Musou game, as a Dynasty Warriors spinoff, I think most people were going to say Pokemon. And you know what? I can't really blame them. That's a great idea. I love it, but I don't know. I was going to say it wouldn't be realistic, but I guess it would be. The Pokemon company is usually pretty open to the idea of doing spin-offs. There's a lot of spin-offs coming out. I mean, we got new Pokemon Snap, and then, like, that MOBA game for the friggin' phone that looks okay, I guess. I don't know. And they've done a lot of things before. Most of it's, like, mobile-style friggin', like, Match 3 stuff, but they have done a lot of things back there. Look at Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. And Mystery Dungeon's a perfect example, actually, because they have actually teamed up with another franchise, which was the Mystery Dungeon series, and made a brand new spin-off series in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So the idea of Pokemon going with another franchise and doing something isn't that weird. And I mean, technically, they've already teamed up with Koei Tecmo before in Pokemon Conquest, which was a, like, Final Fantasy Tactics style RPG with characters from, like, the Samurai Warriors games, or something like, or not Samurai Warriors, Nobunaga's Ambition. Like, the idea isn't that weird. They've done weirder. So, yeah, you know what? The more I'm talking about this, the more I kind of want to see it. There's obviously enough characters. There's, what, friggin' nearly 1,000 Pokemon? So, you could take, like, 50 and do something really crazy. Holy shit, I kind of want to see this now. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a great idea. I think I just blew my own mind. Yeah, alright, never mind. I thought Pokemon might not have been a good idea, but no, I take that back. Pokemon Warriors, or whatever you'd end up calling that, I don't know what that would be end up calling. Poke Warriors, I have no idea. Would actually be a really, really cool idea. Great idea. Do it. Nintendo, do it. Do it now. Star Fox. No. I can't see it. I don't know. They've done Star Fox games that have been outside of the R-Wings, but I don't know, other than like cult followings of like Star Fox Adventure, I don't think they do really well. And I mean, most people just kind of want to see a traditional Star Fox that's just good, and not a remake of the original Star Fox or Star Fox 64, which is all we've been getting lately. And Star Fox Zero certainly didn't, set the charts on fire or anything like that. So I don't think Star Fox is there in order to get a Warriors spin-off. Lilat Warriors, I guess. I have no idea. But there are enough characters, I guess. Actually, not really. I mean, I can picture like maybe 12. Fox, Crystal, Peppy, Slippy, Falco. You got Star Wolf. It's another 4. I don't know. That's 9. It's not a lot. Cat from 64. I don't know. I don't think there's enough characters. There's not enough there, I guess. Star Fox is one of those games where they really need to branch it out and do something with it. They've been really half-assing it and forgetting characters that used to be there. Crystal, hello. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing some of this. I just think it's so low on the list in terms of, like, possibility. So, I don't think it's going to happen. And last up, I guess, I don't know, is the Xenoblade games. And that's another that I think could work, I guess. This is, like, not my expertise. I still have yet to play any of the Xenoblade games. I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or 2. I haven't played X. So I have no idea if this will work or not. But I mean, there seems to be a lot of characters and a lot of, like, I think they're called blades, where they're like weapons, but they're also people. And it looks like the world is big enough and unique enough that it could work. This is one I don't have really much of an opinion on. I can't like say, well, it's a 5 out of 10, it might happen, or 10 out of 10. Nintendo seems to like the Xenoblade games. They get a lot of promotion, which is really great. So I'm assuming they make a lot of money. So I think that's really great. You know, that's the case, because Nintendo doesn't really have a lot of traditional RPGs. So it's cool that this one does really well, but I can't say anything on this one as much as I'd like to. And that's the alphabet, I guess, right there. There's, obviously I didn't go through everything. I didn't, like, Box Boy isn't going to get a Warriors game. Cruisin' USA isn't going to get a Warriors game. Excite Bike should get a Warriors game. You know, things like that aren't on there. Wave Race, Warriors isn't going to happen. One I didn't see on here, though, Advance Wars. Advance Wars would be a really cool one. But I don't think there's enough characters to make it unique. It'd be kind of generic in that sense. But that being said, bring back the Advance Wars thing. This was a completely unscripted, silly little thing. I just was literally just going, huh, will be fun. Let's grab a mic. So, you know, this was just me talking out of my butt for a few minutes. But I want to hear what you guys think. What franchises would you like to see as a Warriors game? And I don't even want you to keep this in Nintendo stuff. A lot of things could be a Warriors game. My wife wants to see a Sailor Moon Warriors, and I'd play the shit out of that. That sounds awesome. A friend of mine at work wants to see a Power Rangers style Musou game, and I'd absolutely be up for that. So this goes for like almost anything, almost any anime, almost any manga, almost any video game franchise. What Warriors game do you want to see for any system at all? I'd love to hear from your guys' things. Thanks for joining me, though. This was just, again, just a little silly thing. I just kind of wanted to talk for a little bit. And thanks for listening, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I'm Phil Blanks. I'll see you guys next time.